What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my second video of the day. This one is going to be basically about what the Hawks, what's happened to them, and why their record should be better than it is. I've got all the games they played, games 1 through 30. I played 30 games. These are all the teams that haven't played yet, and then some teams that they've played twice yet. I just wrote down like Carolina, Pittsburgh, Vancouver, St. Louis, Toronto, Washington, Nashville, New York Rangers, New York Islanders, etc. So yeah, that's kind of just what I've been doing. And their current record is 11, 15, and 4, which we'll go through first. So we'll go through each game individually. Game 1, they play Colorado. They lose 4-2. No shame. Colorado's a contender. I expect them to win. Then they go into New Jersey. They lose 4-3 in overtime, and they score 2 goals in the final minute to come back and tie that game. That's a game they should win. Against New Jersey, who's not a good team. And when you make a comeback like that, that's a game you need to win. Put this pen away. You need to win that game. Moving on. The check mark means they should have won that game. Pittsburgh, they lose 5-2. That's fine. Question mark next to the Islanders and Canucks, they lose 4-1 in each of those games, is the stats show they played better. And visually, they played better, yet they just couldn't get the breaks that they needed. So, they'll come into effect down here at the end when I explain this. Detroit, they lose 6-3. Yeah, they did not play well. Toronto, absolutely a game they should win. They're up 2-0 going into the third. They lose 3-2 in overtime. Unacceptable. That's a game you need to win. Carolina lose 6-3. No shame. St. Louis, they lose 1-0 in a game I thought they outplayed them. And off a power play goal was the decider. Ottawa, they wouldn't get their first win, 5-1. Yes. Carolina, absolutely a game they should win. Up 3-1 heading into the third. Carolina scores several. 3, and they win the game in regulation. Winnipeg, they lose 5-1. They were never in that game. Nashville, they win. Here's their longest win streak. Nashville, they win 2-1 in overtime. Pittsburgh, they win 3-2 in a shootout. Arizona, they win 2-1. Seattle, they win 4-2. Edmonton, they lose 5-2. No shame. Vancouver, they win 1-0. The reason there's a question mark here is they did not deserve to win that game. I mean, I'm going to count it as they did win it, and they caught a break. But that's a game they probably should not have won, and Fleury absolutely stole. Flames lose 5-2. That was a game I thought they played a lot better than Calgary. And then if it wasn't for a fluke goal in the last minute, they win this game. St. Louis, they win 3-2. San Jose, another game, play really well and they lose, get shut out 2-0. Washington, they win 4-3 in a shootout. Rangers, they lose 3-2 in a game that they could have won, probably should have won, but they didn't have. It's the Rangers, so I'm gonna put a question mark there. Islanders scored with 3 seconds left to force overtime, so they give the Islanders an extra point. Rangers, they lose 6-2. That was a bad game. Montreal, they win 2-0. Fine. Toronto, they lose 5-4. Game you need to win. They lose this game because of the Toronto boards, Lankinen, and horrible luck. And they lose 5-4 at a game they absolutely should win after being down 4-1 and coming back, and then a bounce off the boards is what decides the game. My apologies, I am back. I think we were at Toronto. So yeah, they should have won that game. Washington, they win 5-4 in overtime. Question mark there because Washington scores with 3 seconds left to force overtime, giving unnecessary points once again. Nashville, that's a team that's just so beaten down by COVID and injuries that you can't lose to an AHL team. That's the whole base of it. You can't lose to an AHL team, and half their roster is basically AHL. They squeeze out a point barely, and they're lucky they did get a point. Dallas taking that major penalty last night early hurt them very much. But they outplayed them the rest of that game. They should have won that game. Penalties screwed them as usual. Most of these games, it's penalties that screw them. Their penalty kill sucks. Their power play is not great, besides DeBrincat. And there's really no other thing to say about that. I apologize, I'm back. Anyway, that's basically the rundown of things. Now, they lose a lot of one-goal games. You can see they lost 4 in overtime now. And this is 3-2, 5-4, 3-2, 4-3. Keep going down the list. 1-0, 3-2, 4-3, even 2-0 games. Some of them, a lot of these they can play well, and they've shown they can play well, and then they will just screw it up, whether by taking stupid penalties, which this team is great at, or not being able to convert on opportunities given to them. Now, essentially, what I did here is we got best reality and should. Should does not include the question marks, and it just includes the check marks. So when added all up, the record 17-13. Decent record, bit too many losses in there, but when you add the question marks in, 23-7. Games that they have looked like they could win the game, they are 23-7. The comparison right over here, 23-7. Right here is 46. Sorry about that, a lot of interruptions again. So yeah, 46 points for best reality. So let me write that down. 17-13, 34 points. And with the current record they have now, huge difference. Huge difference from these two, and then these two. Incredible difference between all of these three. And at least if they had these two, they would be in a playoff spot. They would be number 1 in the West if they had this one. This one is what they have, though, because that's the Hawks. They never deliver. They haven't delivered since 2016, since they won a playoff game. 2020, they won a round at least, but that was the qualifying round. They won a game against Vegas, true, but yeah, that's really all I have, just kind of showing what I think should be happening, opposed to what is happening. So yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys today. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. I want to hear what you think about this. And if you agree with some of them, if there are games that you think they play bad or like point out little things, I'm all ears to listen to that. And yeah, that's really all I have for you guys today. Got one more video coming out later, hopefully, and might get pushed to tomorrow. We'll see how time goes. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. See you guys next time. Goodbye.